Hey everybody, it's
Hey,
Interfleet Broadcasting. I'm NYPete here with the Tipsy Toaster, my best friend Chris Moore, and you're now in the zone, right? I mean, we're in this corner of the universe,
we're in the right
and
quadrant.
the right quadrant,
My
correct.
hair's all messed up.
Just
We're
want to
in the
let
right
everybody know
quadrant.
that you know we uh, we've been at this for a while, and we're happy to have you on board. It's our pop culture sci-fi entertainment channel. Full disclosure, Chris and I, the basis for this is, we grew up with 70s and 80s TV, movies, cartoons, and, we bring our own little unique spin on things to this corner of the universe. We're big Battlestar Galactica fans, and we are. I don't know. We love our sci-fi and pop culture, and so we're going to bring you some really cool guests today, as usual. And we're also going to bring you on to John. One will be back. Appreciate John actually filling in for me. And Chris, I also wanted to just shout out to a good friend of mine, a coworker that is retiring today after 40 years of service,
Wow.
and Mike Russo, who is a fan of ours, is out celebrating. And I apologize for not being there, Mike, but all the best to you in your retirement now. I hope this is a glory filled chapter of life that the Tipsy Toaster is working towards.
Someday.
Oh boy,
I'll
everybody
never. I'll
is.
never retire. I enjoy my job too much because my
Yeah, you
job
love your
at
job,
work
man.
is just about like my job here.
Yeah, well, lucky you. Chuck is on. Dave Francoeur. What's up, my buddy Dave? Professor Patton. And Mike DeBrune is on. And Rob Baum. And let's see, who else do I got? Who else do I got? Lola, Kathleen. And I don't know, it's how you use it. Yeah, all right, guys. As you come on, just, give me a heads up so we can make sure that we acknowledge like we usually do. I know that our good friends and followers from down under, I'm sure out there somewhere. So as you come on, guys, give us that shout out, and we will give you a little recognition. Everything's going well. Dragon Con is coming up, and we're going. Eric, all right, Eric Engler, good friend of ours as well. We're going to be seeing you and the rest of the crew at Dragon Con. We're working really hard, and we're going to be doing a panel. It looks like we're doing it on Friday, Chris. We're going to give you the time and location right now. It's scheduled for Friday, so we're going to be doing the Stranded Warrior filmmaking and fan film. We're going to debut world premiere debut of our trailer for the Stranded Warrior, and then we're going to do Battlestar Galactica trivia. And hat tip to Rob Baum for helping us out, putting together trivia questions that are phenomenal, just phenomenal. So that's going to be happening, and looking forward to meeting up with you. Oh, the other thing is that we're going to do a dinner. So we're going to be getting
Still
together.
working on that, by the way.
We're working on it, but we're intending to get together Friday night after the trivia, after the panel and the trivia. We're going to go out to dinner all together. So let's try to make that
We'll do a
happen.
raid.
Yeah. By the way,
we can't get reservations. We'll just
now,
raid someplace.
yeah, exactly. As of right now, we have Mr. George Zuvalos, Captain Martin, starring in The Stranded Warrior. He's going to be there. We have Diana Durango, co-star, and George Kay, also supporting and cinematographer on The Stranded Warrior, that's going to be on the panel, and Legacy Battlestar Galactica superfan Fran Severin will also be joining us on the panel. So we're going to have a great time presenting. Fran, I don't know. Hey, Fran, are you on yet? She usually comes on and gives us a head. Hey, Michael Morlock, what's up? And John Van Gostein, of course, is on. Fantastic, guys. Welcome all. Appreciate you guys taking the time to stop in and enjoy our little banter. Chris, we have our beers courtesy of Superfan Fran.
Hey, John, if you can hear me, you're on the wrong input.
He's supposed to be on 1. I gave him 1.
Oh, our interview's on 1. You just kicked our interview off.
Okay, so
John's never on 1. John's on 3.
Stand by. All right, John, I'll get you the other one. Hold on. I'm on it. Anyway, guys, yes, live, right?
This is what happens when you go live.
Mediocre Modeler knows all about live issues.
Yes.
So for those of you now watching Mediocre Modeler and the trials and tribulations of going live, this is all a part of it, especially when we get new computers and we get new access lines.
Now I say John is always on 3. There we go. He's back. Okay, Chris is back. Okay, we're good. Yeah. Now we just need to get John on the right spot. So thank you for coming back, Chris. Sorry about that. John kicked you off, so just so you know.
All right, so we're good. We're all good. I think everybody's in place. Can't get reservations. It will be old school BSG Battle Royal in the ball pit of Mickey D's. That's right, Mike. Paul.
Cylons will win.
Paul Rodder's here. Jamming the radar. Paul, how are you? Commander Kane, who is one of the founders of the Colonial Warriors on social media. He's well known in all circles and all universes as one of the best Commander Kanes that are out there, the Commander Kane, and of the old classic Battlestar Galactica. And thank you for tuning in. Looking forward to meeting up with you again, Paul. We did hang out at I believe it was Knoxville Fanboy Expo. We got to hang out with Paul. It was great. We had a good time, and we're looking to have better, just as good, if not a better time at Dragon Con. So it's gonna be quite the event. In the meantime, the only night I can't do the panel or dinner, daughter is in costume contest. Needs a handler, Eric. So Eric, listen, for those of you that for whatever reason, we're going to be out there, so we'll be posting. We definitely want to meet up with you like we do at other conventions. You guys, we tell you where we are, we come out, we take pictures, we do all that stuff. Eric, we're going to hold a set of the new cards, right? So we made an exclusive add-on. We made another 5 promotional cards for the Stranded Warrior. We'll make sure that we set aside a set for you, Eric. No problem. Eric has helped us out tremendously in the past. And so we just want to make sure that we take care of you, Eric. You make sure that we hook up. We got plenty of days. So not to worry. Sunday, I believe, is when we usually do the big Battlestar Galactica picture. So, we're definitely going to meet up at the minimum at that picture. So I want to meet up with all you guys. Lola's coming, and I believe Charlene's coming. I think Professor Patton is coming. We're gonna have a bunch of you coming out to Dragon Con, and I've never been. I've always heard the legendary stories. So, and we may have an interview lined up.
Yeah,
our guest tonight.
Guest tonight's actually going to hook us up with a an interview would be amazing.
Yeah. So you'll find out more. We have a co-owner and author of a tremendous franchise that's being put together, and man, I'm really really interested in this. It's
It's
something
funny that you almost said that word.
Yeah, I'm just you guys will see. You'll see. It's something that I've always been a big fan of, and so we'll bring that up in a little bit. There will be a cosplay panel for Military Sci-Fi Media panel. Oh yeah, there's going to be a lot of panels,
Yep.
Eric. I mean, I was trying to
They
catch
have it
up.
every
Hey,
year,
Trey,
yeah.
what's up, man? Yeah, it's tough to try to get to all of these, but we're going to do our best, and we'll see how that plays. But all right, Chris, let's toast to the fans. And,
yes, let's do that. So
yeah.
I'll put you up, and hang on, I'll put up people's comments as we go. So tonight's beer brought to you by Superfan Fran, and we did get a new donor, and I'm sorry I didn't write it down. So we do have another donor out there. You will be buying beers next week.
So we're gonna post that up on IFB.
So tonight's beer is, oh boy, Pina Colada IPA, made with friends for friends. 3 Notched Brewing Company, Costa Rica Beer Factory Incorporated. It's 7.5% alcohol and a 20 IBU rating. Costa Rica Brew Ventures is an exciting and unique way for craft beer lovers to experience Costa Rica. For more information, Costa Rica beerventures.com. It says, good friends and good beer go together. That's why this beer is called Campitas. I'm saying that probably wrong because I am not very good at that stuff. So Compitas, Campitas? It sounds like it's right. Anyways, which is Costa Rican for friends. Pineapple and coconut flavor give this IPA a tropical burst of flavor that you are going to want to share. A collaboration between Costa Rica Beer Factory and 3 Notched Brewing Company. It was made by friends for friends. Do not let colonials drink too much. Cylon, it'll make your eyes cross.
Oh boy.
Colonial warning.
Listen, I can't let this up. I can't let this go. Crunch just said we should do a big promo and get Wonder Bread and put the cards in the Wonder Bread. Oh boy.
That rip open the bread.
Cool. Yeah, and then just get all the cards, man. That is so funny. Wow.
You ready?
All right. Yeah, I'm ready. Come on. Ready? One, two, three. Oh, of course.
Right on your keyboard, as usual. Pete goes through more keyboards this way.
Yeah, no kidding.
I am Midtown Comics, New York City. For all your comic needs, visit Midtown Comics, New York City. What are you doing, Pete? We haven't started. Pete's in a hurry tonight.
You're reading the Midtown Comics mug. You know why I did that? Because I wanted to make sure it gets in the glass
the keyboard.
And not all over.
On the keyboard?
All over myself. Yeah.
On the keyboard. Oh, Pete's just wearing it tonight. So it's a nice color.
Stick to There
we go. Focus.
Oh, and we got to find the bubblegum sticks too, Chris.
Yeah.
For the cards.
Pass. I'm sick that night.
All right. Yes, if you want to, we did that opening up the original Battlestar Galactica cards. We had such a good time. Chris ate the bubble gum.
Yeah, that's pretty good. It smells pretty good.
Yeah. All right. Well, here's to you guys.
Here's to us. Here's to you, everyone.
Yeah.
Thanks. And we always say we love the fans out there. You are very important to us, and you're also very important to the fandoms. You actually fuel the fandoms. It's up to you to make things happen. Hollywood listens to the fans. You guys go out and spend the money. You guys and gals go out and make all sorts of props, and it's just amazing what a fandom can do when they love a product or they love something that they've really gotten into, and you keep those fandoms alive. Battlestar Galactica has been around for 43 years, 44 45 years, 44 years.
Yeah, 45. I think it's 45.
Yeah, 45 this year. So, and here we are, still talking about Battlestar Galactica and all the other cool stuff, Logan's Run and everything else. You fans are out there. You fans are amazing because you fuel the fleet. So here's to you.
That's right.
To the fans.
And Mike Russo, congratulations on your retirement.
I'm jealous, Mike.
Yeah, that's quite unique, man. That's whew.
Wow.
What is that?
That does taste like a pina colada. Holy crap.
Boy, that's really weird.
That's amazing.
That's weird, man. Whew.
I have a beer that tastes like a pina colada.
Oh my God, that is so bizarre. Whew.
Pete's words for, I don't like it. There'll be a lot left in the glass by the end of the night. You watch.
Keep fueling
when
the
he
fleet.
Tonight when he cheers for the end, see how much beer he has left in that glass.
All right.
Mm-hmm. There you go.
Okay.
The look on your face. Okay. All right.
Oh,
okay.
boy.
Oh, wait. I love it. That's great.
Oh, man.
You can just virtually put it through and put it on mine. Here, just dump it into mine.
Yeah, I wish. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Right
hang on. We'll do this. Go ahead and do that again.
Yeah.
Go ahead, dump it in.
Okay. Yeah. Good. All right. Enough. Hey, Rob.
The magic through virtual.
Thanks to Dave Francoeur, I've completed my Planet of the Apes set.
That's good.
He found the one card I was missing, and I have now completed that set. So there you go. Kathleen. Yes, it is funny, isn't it? Yeah. Kim, what's up? Welcome. How are you? Good to see you. For those of you that I have emailed, I sent out the first email making sure that we are getting the right spelling to everybody's name for the Stranded Warrior and the thank you. Yeah, we're still missing. We're missing about, I'd say, 20 to 25 people. So I'm gonna have to send out another round of, hey guys, I need you to, to confirm.
Because we have to mail that stuff out here shortly.
Yeah, well, that's the next step. So we can't.
Got to order the jackets for those who got the jackets.
Dude, we didn't get everybody to confirm their name, the spellings, man. I'm like, what the heck?
Should have came through on the thing, but okay, we'll look it back up. We'll make sure.
Yeah, but just if you guys have gotten the email, make sure you get back to us because it's important. This way we know that you're
check your junk file.
Yeah, next thing is going to be the request for addresses for those of you that are receiving any of the other perks that we have to mail out. That's coming up next, so pay attention to that. Lola, yeah, I emailed everybody requesting that you confirm spellings of name. So I don't think I saw yours, Lola. So yes, I sent everything out by email request. You send it back to me saying, yep, that's how I want you to spell my name in the thank you credits at the end of the Stranded Warrior. And then I will follow up another email for those that are getting anything mailed. I need to make sure that you're getting, Kim, I got yours. So Lola, look in the spam folder because I sent it from.
Because we're spammers.
Yeah. Oh boy. Yeah.
It's the Cylons put it in your spam folder. So, and yes, Trey's right. Cylons do like pina coladas.
Okay, so I will tell you what the subject line is right now, as a matter of fact. Subject line was, let's see, because I did get a bunch of you guys did respond back, and I'm very happy that you did. But let's see. No, that's not it. Let me see. Where are you guys? Yep. It's Stranded Warrior Update. Okay, that's subject
I remember seeing that.
Well, so guys, 15, 16, 17, 18. Not even half of you have responded back. Some of you, right? So Lola, yep. So let's see if we can then get up on this. I want to try to make sure we can, fast track all the names because that's where we're headed. Yeah. All right. So guys, thank you for taking care of that. Yes, John has a change. My name change was Supreme Cylon Commander. Any way you want it spelled, if that's what you want, that's what you're going to get. Kathleen, I will make sure that I'll look it up. I have a list. So, I don't know. What else do we got going on, Chris, besides the convention, besides the Stranded Warrior? I mean,
we've got interview tonight. We've got John 1, and we've got new cards.
Oh, boy. Oh,
Jeez.
Stop teasing with the new cards. Oh, boy.
But I think I found my favorite card. It's the last card in the deck. Why is it the last card? It's because Pete numbered them.
That's right. That is freaking cool. That's a cool card, man. That's cool. You don't want to end a set of cards with just any character, right? Just like a random character.
That should have been the first character. I mean, even before the title card.
No.
Yeah.
Nope.
Yep.
Nope.
Cylons rule, Colonials drool, and Colonials don't like pina colada beer. And that alone is enough not to like Colonials.
You got jokes.
That's what we go to war over. Yep, that's it. Cylons were like, what? They don't like pina colada beer? Pff, invade.
Oh, boy.
Annihilate the humans. They cannot stand pina colada beer. We need to get rid of them.
Let's see.
You ready to?
I'm going over. So, just for the record, guys, I went into the Kickstarter and I pulled everybody's emails that contributed to the project, and that's where I got all the names and emails, and that's the list I'm using. So I just want to make sure that the way you guys are spelling, I don't know if there's like a middle name that you want in there or a middle initial. And so that's why we need to confirm that when did I send them out? I sent out one email a couple days ago, and you know what, Lola, you got to look for it, because we want to make sure that you're getting them, A, and then B, there's going to be follow-ups. There's more. So it's good that you try to find it in your spam folder, maybe junk folder. I don't know, something like that. But it was sent from NYPete, and it's NYPete at interfleetbroadcasting.com. So when you guys get a chance, please go in there and take a look. And yes, Paul confirmed. That's right.
Yep.
And so, yep. So if you guys are on that list of contributors to the Kickstarter, then I have sent out emails. I will double check the list, and we'll keep at it. And I guess this is a good way to back things up. Anyway, got the right email address. Oh my God, Lola, Lola, what I need you to do is, I took the email address. Doesn't matter. Lola, just send me your email address to make sure that I have it. I don't mind this. I want to make sure that everybody has their names up, because it happened to me with one of the Star Trek documentaries, Chris. They sent out emails. It went to my junk folder, and I looked for my name in the credits, and they had chopped my last name down, so I didn't get. I
couldn't imagine why. It's really short.
I was kind of pissed that happened, and then I went looking in my junk. I went back.
And I found it. Common spelling.
Yeah, I looked, and I found that yes, in fact, they had actually sent an email that I didn't see because it went into the spam folder, and I didn't respond in time, and so they just went ahead and did what they did.
I'm with you.
So I was really pissed.
Robert, it is Greek to me too.
Yep. So I was kind of disappointed. So let's make sure, since we have an opportunity to let everybody know. Yeah. All right. Anyway, so that was that. So we got that out of the way, Chris.
Yes.
Right. We talked about the Dragon Con.
Yep.
And everybody knows that we're going to Comic-Con as well, New York Comic-Con. So that's something we're going on. That's later in October, but Dragon Con is the big to do, and everybody's making arrangements. And look out for those new cards. And we have who's up? Who's up?
I don't know. You tell me. We'll both know. I push the buttons. You tell me what to push.
Okay, so is it that time? Who did you? I don't know if you have both.
I have both,
a guest
up.
Both
people are here.
All right, so let's get our guest up, who's calling from overseas, and Mr. Chris McAuley is gonna wow you guys with some very cool stuff, followed by our own John 1. So John, stand by. Let's let the guest up first, and then we're 20 days away from Dragon Con. Oh my God.
I'm screwed. Anyways.
Wow. That's incredible. All right.
No, it's scary.
It is scary.
To do. I got too much to do and too little time to do it.
Yeah, no kidding. That's for sure.
But you ready? All right.
I'm ready.
5.
Let's do it.
4, 3, 2, 1.
4. Yep. Go. Boom. Chris, welcome to Interfleet Broadcasting. How are you?
Well, I'm good, and let me say it for you, Pete. I'm stoked to be here.
Yes.
So I knew you were holding that in, so I thought, no, I'll let it out for you.
Excellent. So look, let's start this segment out with the following question. I have been a Dracula fan since I was a kid, and then of course I told you before we went on the air that I read Bram Stoker's Dracula when I was like 13 or 14. I was probably 13, and talk about lasting impression when you read it at at 13. It's incredible. And then of course after that there's comic books and all these other things, and the character's been in movies and TV and all these other things. Were you a fan growing up of Count Dracula?
That's an interesting question. I read it when I was relatively young as well. I think it was in the school library. And there were various scenes that stuck in my mind because, Stoker's original classic, you've got... it's a fascinating book. It's written at the sort of the turn of the century, or coming to the turn of the century, where you've still got faith and you have reason, and those two are coming head to head. There's a lot of new technology for the time mentioned in Dracula, and there's little hints to Freud as well, which the Freudian analysis was fairly new. So it's a fascinating book for all those reasons. But the scenes that always stayed in my mind were, it was the meter, which is obviously now a film. Was I a fan of Dracula? Was I a fan of horror? No, not really. No, I was more a fan of Doctor Who growing up.
Couldn't imagine why.
So whenever it came to me starting to write Dracula with Bram Stoker's descendant Dagger, I wasn't coming as a fan to it. I was coming with, I suppose, fresh eyes.
Oh, nothing wrong with that. But so, how did you find yourself in this universe? Right. First of all, this is what you now are involved in. You have
co-owner. Yep.
Yes, co-owner of this franchise, and there's going to be everything from books, graphic novels, comic books, video game, action figures. Who knows? Maybe there's going to be television or even movies out of this franchise that you've been building, and it's just mind-boggling. It's incredible that it hasn't happened before, and it has in one form or another. But you're putting another twist on it, and we're going to show. We're going to share with everybody your site, and they'll see for themselves what we're talking about. However, how did you meet I believe it's the great grandnephew of Bram Stoker? How does that happen?
Well, a friend of mine asked me to write a vampire story for a comic book anthology, and I came up with this idea, Dracula, Lord of the Future. So it's a Weyland-Yutani style company, digs Dracula up, sticks him in a space station, and then starts to torture him and uses DNA for various medical products. Dracula, of course, gets out and kills everybody in the station before jumping into a spaceship and flying off to God knows where. And Decker saw it, so Stoker saw it and liked it and reached out to me the next day and asked me if I wanted to turn some of Bram Stoker's short stories into comic books. So that was how it started, and we took the unfortunately titled, and I have to apologise for this, The Squaw, and we changed that into a more culturally appropriate title called The Virgin's Embrace, because the story is all about the Virgin of Nuremberg, about the Iron Maiden, as it's more commonly known. But it's a very intriguing sort of horror story. It's quite graphic, and it's got a very gothic pace to it. So we turned that into a comic book. The lady who illustrated it, Jessica Martin, she was actually a Doctor Who actress who had turned into an award-winning illustrator. And we brought the graphic novel out, God, it's about 2 years now. And it did very well. It beat Stephen King's novel at the time, and Clive Barker's stuff for a couple of days. For a couple of days, it hung in there, and Decker said to me, "Look, do you want to do more?" And he said, "Look, do you want to do Dracula?" And I said, "Okay, if we're going to do Dracula, I want to approach it from the original angle, which is what the family wanted." So essentially, what people see in movies and comic books, Marvel comic books, and video games, what you've been seeing has never been the original Dracula. We've always said after 125 years, we've brought the original Dracula back. It'll surprise a lot of people to know that there's no romance in the original Dracula novel. That Dracula has hairs in the palm of his hand. He's not an attractive young man. He doesn't become like Gary Oldman. And there's a lot of, if you're coming in to experience Dracula from Ford Coppola's movie, which has got really nothing to do with Bram Stoker's original novel, there's so many plot deviations. It's a beautiful film, but it's not really an accurate depiction of the novel. In fact, there has never been a cinematic or televisual accurate depiction of the novel, which I find fascinating. So, we started writing this whole universe, this Stoker Verse, and started with Dracula. And I think the next product that came out was an audio drama called Voices of Dracula, and we had Hollywood actors and actresses and Doctor Who actors in it. And what I did was I zoomed in. I did a snapshot of how each of the characters would have felt during the story, and started to bring out like small plot points which are important. For example, why does Dracula go after Lucy? Well, Dracula goes after Lucy not because he's enamored with her, but he knows that if he goes after Lucy, Seward will bring Van Helsing in, because he wants to target Van Helsing.
Oh.
In the novel, you see Van Helsing sort of minister or lean over Lucy and says in his hubris that he can save Lucy, and Dracula knows that he can't. So as Van Helsing watches this young woman slip away, it's kind of like a duel between Dracula and Van Helsing. That's the start of it. And whenever Lucy dies, Dracula knows that Van Helsing is going to have to say to the men who loved Lucy, "Look, this girl, the sweet innocent girl that you loved, she's now become this filthy undead creature of the night, and she's doing God knows what to children. So you've got to come with me to her crypt and stake her through the heart, cut her head off, and shove her mouth full of garlic." Oh. So what Dracula's hoping with that is that the men will leave Van Helsing on his own, and he'll just be seen as a crazy old man. But of course that doesn't happen. But that's part of the game that Dracula plays. He's a spider who's spinning a web. So I brought that out, and the scene that a lot of people think is quite erotic with Mina and Dracula is anything but when you read the novel. It's actually a form of unholy communion. You've got to remember that Dracula is living in dirt, so he's got long, filthy, dirt-encrusted nails. He takes one of the nails, and he opens up his chest. Now remember that vampires are undead creatures, so what comes out is pus and congealed blood, and he takes Mina's head and slams it to his chest and forces her to drink that. And obviously that's a form of unholy communion, but the difference between the wafer of Catholicism and the wine of Catholicism. So you have that. And then whenever the band of heroes break into the room, he pulls Mina's head from his chest and gleefully shows the mess of her face, flings her across the bed, and looks at Harker as if to say, "Do you want her now?" And of course there's great heroism with Jonathan Harker, because he does. The first thing he does is he runs over to his wife. And that's a love that Dracula can't break. So again, it's very different from Coppola's film. And then we moved on. We wrote a novel, Dracula's Bedlam, which kind of focuses on the asylum and other things. We brought in other characters like Jack the Ripper and stuff in there. And then we started bringing out games like RPGs and miniature war games. And we have a video game which will be debuting. It will be a demo coming out at the end of this month, and I think it will be out in roughly 12 months' time. So it's a Metroidvania style game, and you're very close. If you move your cursor there, that's the one there. So it's a Metroidvania style game. Those are some of the early screenshots for it there you can see on the screen, and it actually pushes the Dracula narrative onwards into 1912. So we have all of our products sort of have this timeline. So we move from the original novel onwards, and then our graphic novel, Dracula: Cult of the White Worm. What we're starting to do with that is bring some of Bram's other famous sort of horror characters like the White Worm in, and inject a form of Lovecraftian mythology to Dracula. To sort of qualify this a bit, the Dracula book that you hold in your hand isn't the complete Dracula book, because there was 110 pages taken out of it.
Whoa!
So the story with Dracula is that when Bram Stoker went to his editor and publisher, Otto Kleiman, from Archibald and Constable in England, he said that Dracula was a true story, and Otto Kleiman basically said no, he wasn't going to publish it as it was written. So he made Bram make edits, and he took various things out of it. So Decker and I are taking those pages and putting them back into Dracula. So we are now trying to present the complete Dracula as Bram Stoker would have intended it.
Amazing.
And is Dracula a true story? Absolutely. I'm not gonna explain what I mean by that, but if you follow the Stoker Verse, there are various documentaries that we are making about the origins of Dracula, and you'll have to wait and see what we mean by that.
Excellent. So when is this new edit going to be available, Chris?
Soon. Soon. We don't know what format. We're talking to a publisher about publishing the complete Dracula, and it may come out in novel, or it may be a graphic novel format. Those are the two options that we're looking at the minute. But if you look through the Stoker Verse stuff as we have it, you will see creatures and characters in the games, and in the especially with the Dracula Return comic book. You will actually see it. It happens directly after the original novel, and you start to see characters that Bram Stoker would put in there. For example, in the original Dracula manuscript, Dracula created these half man, half ape creatures that worshipped him. There's a scene that was redacted from the original novel called the Red Room scene, and Dracula is sacrificing a virgin in a satanic ritual. And there are these naked half man, half ape creatures present there.
Oh, that's crazy.
And in the tabletop game, we actually have those half man, half ape cultists, little miniature figures. We actually have them that you can play play with. Decker and I wrote some of the scenarios for the. Yes, that's the usual get-up I have to wear, the top hat and stuff.
Wow. Wow.
So there's lots of different. We have audio dramas. The Whisper in the Darkness audio drama there that Decker and I wrote was, what would happen if Dracula had met Bram Stoker. So that was an interesting one to write, especially whenever I found out that in the original prologue of Dracula that Bram had said that he knew all the characters of the novel and had to change their names. One of them actually was a prominent surgeon at the time, and that's who Van Helsing was based on.
So, Chris, have you entertained the idea of trying to actually identify some of these characters that we have believed to be, fictional, and trying to find their counterparts
Yeah, Decker and I have done that.
Oh, okay. Holy mackerel!
So there are some. I mean, again, I have to say, it's Dracula issue 2, the Cult of White Worm issue 2 will actually show you who Dracula really was in real life.
Interesting.
Oh.
Very interesting. And then
so I have
I
to
guess
be careful what I say, because that's probably a unique selling point for the. But
boy.
it's kind of he's present, and we are we show it's somebody that Bram knew intimately. So yeah.
Wow. So we've got a bunch of questions and comments, and one of them has to do with the Dracula films, and I'm familiar with the Hammer films. How, which of the films have you enjoyed over the years?
Most of them, actually. I'm actually ashamed to say there was one that came out called Dracula 3000, which was set in a spaceship. It was so ludicrous. It was funny. It was, and look, the Hammer films, because I love Christopher Lee and Peter Cushing. And Peter Cushing's one of my favourite Doctor Who's. They're absolutely brilliant because of the friendship the two of them had, and it's a lot of fun. Like Dracula's a lot of fun. The Decker went to see an advanced screening of The Voyage of the Demeter last night, and he told me it's brilliant.
Oh, was it?
Oh, wow, cool.
Oh, can't wait to go see it.
And I've got the novel. I read the novel a couple of years ago, and it's worth grabbing the novel as well. And I enjoy a lot of. When I said I was coming to this, I wasn't a Dracula fan. It's not. I would say I'm a Dracula fan now because I've kind of gone into the world and started to look at what other people have done with the character. We're doing the original Dracula that Bram Stoker had created, but there are so many different interesting variations out there. Like Marvel's Dracula, I've always enjoyed, especially his encounters with Blade. I've loved those comics. And the Ford Coppola film is cinematically it's great. It's an amazing film. It's my favorite character there's Anthony Hopkins' Van Helsing, but I think he's actually closer to the novel than the other characters. But I love Abraham, the Van Helsing character. At the end, where he stands and they look at what they've done, all the men are standing together, and he just says, "Gentlemen, we have all become God's madmen." I love that line. I think that's very, very true. The Nietzschean abyss that these characters climb into. And then there's attempts cinematically to make Dracula like an anti-hero or a romantic hero, and that comes a lot from the Anne Rice influence.
Oh yeah.
And the Bela Lugosi. Essentially, what happened was the original Dracula was unfilmable because it was too horrific. So what they did was they brought in Bela Lugosi to inject some sex appeal, because sex sells in Hollywood.
Yes.
You don't want an old guy with like hairy hands and Yeah, and this is the thing. But so you bring in an attractive actor to play the role, and it becomes, the character becomes sexually appealing, and then you put the romance element into it. And I think that's why Dracula has endured so long, because there's been so many different variations.
We
So yeah,
we have
I enjoy most of them.
we have a comment from our very good friend and supporter Eric Patton. Professor Patton says the romantic image of Dracula pretty much started in the late '70s with Frank Langella on Broadway, which
Yeah. Oh,
brought
yeah,
in a
yeah. I
whole
mean,
other, you know,
that's I would say I think it started with Bela Lugosi, but I think Frank Langella, he was very overtly sexual in the role, um, and then that was kind of carried on. Uh, and I think, like, if you want to talk about sex appeal, if you look at Christopher Lee's portrayal of Dracula, the commanding stare, and it was always, in Hammer, and it's probably not politically correct now, but he had the commanding stare. He always went, he always beckoned this attractive female to come to him. So there was always that form that was there. But I agree. I think Langella's performance, I think, yeah, I think it was probably quite overtly sexual from what I've read about it. I've never seen it.
Chris, what about Penny Dreadful?
Great series. I loved it. Yeah, I really enjoyed that. Comics are pretty good too. Not so sure about the third season. I love the first two seasons. The third season just, it went off the boil a bit for me, but I loved how they injected all the different characters. I mean, we've actually done this in the Stoker Verse RPG, like how would Bram Stoker have written Frankenstein's monster, and we've
Oh,
injected Frankenstein's monster in, as we Stokerfied it. So Frankenstein's monster in the Stokerverse is actually an artist who lives in the East End of London. He's become an artist. So the story with him is that he was sort of this painter lady had taken him under her wing and taught him to paint, but all he could paint was the one color. And then she taught him to paint with different colors, so that he wasn't just experiencing the same emotion. And he started to paint with other colors and started to see the world as an artist would see it. And then unfortunately, she gets struck down by a carriage. So he's still quite a lost, lonely figure, but he's an artist now, and he realizes that the world is a canvas, and that's how we kind of recreated Frankenstein's monster in the Stokerverse.
Chris, you've created this. It's a solid franchise based on our experiences and interviewing, seeing, being involved in the sci-fi horror pop culture world. You're covering the RPG. You're covering now the video games. You have comic books, the graphic novels. There's
Dark Legacies.
audio. Yeah, the audio. There's a lot that you're covering. So there's only, I think, a couple of other areas besides what you have done already, and that would be TV and movies. So I want you to give us a little bit of insight on how you see that possibility, and then being that uh, we're an American audience that loves all this stuff to death. How do you see the American experience with the Stokerverse? How is it going to all come into our way, and what's the bigger picture?
Okay, I have to be very careful what I say, because the TV stuff is actually currently being looked at.
Ooh.
But
Nice,
if
excellent.
if yeah yeah if I mean an American audience, is it so different from a British audience? Really, is it so different from a European audience? I mean, you all want the shit scared out of you. Every single person watching this, if you love horror, you want shit completely scared out of you, and I can guarantee you I can do that. I wasn't given the title of Master of Horror for nothing. Um, but the you have to really get in. I think good horror is psychological. I think
Right.
you have to make people truly terrified about what's out there, because it is a terrifying world. We cocoon ourselves and we create little habitats for ourselves and little safe spaces, but there's no such thing as a safe space in reality. And that's what true horror gives you a sense of. Fun horror is that you're sitting in the cinema and you're safe and all the rest of it, but are you? Who really is sitting beside you? Who's sitting behind you? Who's sitting in front of you?
Well, speaking of that, Chris,
horror.
That's a little bit like the I think like the Vampire Diaries, some of the other Twilight and some of the other that kind of stuff where it's a little more
sparkly vampires.
That's a whole different other conversation here. And fair play to the people that made money at that. Good for them, but it's certainly not. It wouldn't float my boat. I mean, one of my favorite horror films is Event Horizon, and I think Event Horizon is really where it's at. It's it's very powerful. The imagery is very powerful, but it's very psychological, and it's you don't really know what's on that ship. We still to this day, and I've read the novelization because I love the film. We don't know where that ship went to. We don't know how that ship came back. We postulate it. Hellraiser's another great. I mean, yes. I have a great respect for Clive Barker's work because it's very psychosexual, and I think again, good horror is psychosexual. And whenever I describe how Dracula opens up his chest and does all of that sort of stuff, there are sexual connotations to that because blood, sexually transmitted diseases of the blood. I mean, historically, if you go through vampirism and why vampire films and zombie films come back into vogue, it's because there's usually some sort of pandemic or epidemic or some virus that's come out in the real world, and we use vampirism generally as a cipher for sexually transmitted diseases, but zombies as well, actually.
Wow.
You've only got to look at Cronenberg's Shivers for that. For that sort of again good psychosexual film.
Interesting.
But yeah, there's a lot of that. If you look at it and you correlate it with the peaks and the troughs of vampires and zombies, it's always related to something going on in the real world, because that sort of horror is always a cipher for reality. And I always think sometimes that as hard as I try and scare people, and I make a living out of it, but there's nothing as scary as what goes on in the real world. I can't even. True. I can't touch mm-hmm. that.
Very true. We have a quick comment that I wanted to bring up from Kim Harms. I really liked the movies that dealt with the legend of Vlad the Impaler too.
Yeah, Stoker didn't base Dracula on Vlad the Impaler. That's always a shock to people. What he had was originally he had a book, and it was called Vampire, he didn't base anything on Dracula. The editor turned around and said to him, he's got to go and find a better name for this book. So he goes to the London Library and he finds a book on the shelf written by a Scottish author called Emily Gerard, and it's called The Land Beyond the Forest, which is actually the English translation of the word Transylvania. And he flicks through it and he sees Dracula. Because in Bram Stoker's Dracula is actually the literal devil. He's seen it. He's actually supposed to be the literal devil. You see that in it still survives in the novel, where you see him sign for Carfax, and it's Mandevil is the name he uses. But yeah, he saw Dracula and thought, yeah, I'm going to use that. If you look at chapter 2 of Dracula, that's why Dracula doesn't really have a solid origin story. It's like, who were you? Oh, yes, I was this, and I was from gypsy stock, and I was from he doesn't really have that sort of clear understanding of who he is. How I interpret that is that Dracula's been around for so long that he can't even remember who he was anymore originally. He's got a form of dementia. He's just been around for so long he can't remember clearly. He's been all those people, but he can't remember it clearly. So I no issues with with time, I've written stories where he's been Vlad. The thing about Vlad is that he went to a magical school called the Scholomance, which was it was a real school, and world leaders would send their children there to learn about science and magic and alchemy. And it was always said that the 10th child would be sent to the devil as payment, and Vlad was that 10th child. And there's all these stories about Vlad. Vlad being able to control the weather and stuff like that. So in Dracula, the Cult of the White Worm issue 1, there's a text-based story where I write the origins of Dracula according to the Stoker Verse, and that's the Scholomance is part of that.
Excellent. So we have more to come. There's something else in the making that's up for release, I believe, very soon. Yes, Chris?
Yeah, issue 2. So issue 2 of Dracula Cult of the White Worm, it should be out very soon. We have our demo of the video game. We've got I actually have a Dracula novel coming out with another chap called Jeff Oliver, and that's whenever I step away from the original Dracula of the Stoker Verse and start to move into the more cinematic aspects of Dracula. So that's actually coming out. I think it's coming out on Halloween itself.
Oh,
so wow!
So there you go. So yeah.
And of course, I'd be remiss if I didn't bring up one of my favorite characters, Karl Kolchak, and his run-ins with vampires.
It's funny how so many different. We had vampires in Buck Rogers.
Yep, that's right. Vampires are all over the place. But have you seen Kolchak and his?
I've never seen it. It never reached me when I was a kid. We didn't get that in Ireland at all. We got very little horror content in Ireland, actually.
Wow!
I think you blame the Catholic Church for that. They've got their own horror stories.
Not an obstacle anymore.
No. I should grab the DVDs because I've heard great things about it. I mean, I'm a great fan of Millennium. I got that came out whenever I was at school. Millennium and X-Files, so I loved all that. But vampires have a very rich history. I mean, so the earliest known tales of humanity are about vampires, Babylonian mythologies. There was aspects of Isis. You have Greeks.
Yep.
You have the aspect of Isis. It was Aset Ka, Hathor. We all like good beer, and the story of beer comes from the Egyptians, where Ra decided he would destroy all of humanity by changing Hathor into a lion. And then people cried out, and Ra thought, well, fair dues, probably shouldn't kill them all. And then he crafted this beer, which looked red, and Hathor thought it was blood, drinks it, and then goes to sleep, and then she gets changed back into the appearance of a lovely woman again. So there you go. So yes, that's one of the origin stories of beer linked with vampirism.
Perfect. It all works. Chris, we're big fans of everything that you're doing now. So we're hoping that you make it over to this side of the world, the other side of the pond, I guess. And we're looking forward to seeing and promoting your stuff at conventions. But you also have a connection with Babylon 5. What is that about?
Yeah, so I also co-own a franchise called Dark Legacies. With the lovely Claudia Christian. And how that came about was Claudia called me up and she said, could you write a science fiction show for me? And I said, well, why are we writing a show? Why don't we do comic books and novels and audios and basically do what Stoker Verse was doing? But the premise with Dark Legacies is that I've got fed up now with dystopian sci-fi. We've had a lot of dystopian sci-fi. And I think sci-fi has to be realistic, but I think it should be optimistic. And that's what I have always loved about, Battlestar Galactica. I'm a big fan of the original Battlestar Galactica because it was quite optimistic and it was full of hope. It didn't shy away from from any issues, but it was hopeful. Same with Star Trek. So we've written this whole story arc. The Earth is coming out of this sort of tyrannical, oppressive government into something there's a bit of a meritocracy, and they're exploring the stars with hope, with sort of a renewed hope. And but there's the legacies of the past which keep threatening to drag humans back. So the reason why we call it Dark Legacies is due to that. And Claudia's character, Jessica Steele, she has a very dark legacy to do with her sister. Her sister, who's played by Patricia Tallman, another Babylon 5 cast member, she murdered their parents. So that's part of the Dark Legacies. And then we start to uncover really what the previous government was doing. And that's part of what Jessica Steele's mandate is. And it's the comic range is great because it's got, we've got all these incredible artists on board. We had Stas Johnson, who's a 2000 AD artist, and we've got Glenn Fabry. And Glenn is an artist that most fans know from, his Incredible Hulk stuff, his Thor stuff, his stuff in 2008, Dave, Judge Dredd. Very, very powerful artist. He's taken over the artist duty on issue 2, and stuff's very impressive. And then we had our first audio drama came out from BBV Productions, and they're known for doing their Doctor Who spin-offs. So this is they work with me. I've written a few Doctor Who audio dramas with them, and we brought out an audio a couple of weeks ago with that. And there's games coming out from Iconic Studios. So it's all there. And then we have Dark Legends is actually our fantasy range. We brought out a couple of short stories and anthologies. Claudia loves fantasy as a genre. She actually owns a sword collection.
No way.
Wow. She owns a sword collection. So she's a big fan of historical fiction, which we've also done historical fiction together. We got an Amazon #1 on a historical fiction piece that we did together.
What's that one?
It's a very strange one, actually. It was put under historical fiction, but it was called Three Musketeers versus Cthulhu, which is an RPG. Yeah, so I wrote this thing hands up. I wrote this thing as a bit of a joke. I thought it would be a fun mashup, right? And what happened was it became so popular that we've got a comic book coming out in it, and we've an RPG game coming out from Chaosium that do Call of Cthulhu. They do the official Call of Cthulhu RPG. So it's with Chaosium and Nightfall Games. So that's the one. That's the one there. So so the story that we wrote in that one became so popular that it's kind of got its own spin-offs. I can't explain that. I don't know why. Well, I'm very grateful. We're both very grateful for it.
We don't know why it worked, but it worked.
I have no idea. It worked. It was quite rough. I'm known for writing stories that are very very gruesome, I suppose, and there's a market for it out there. So so essentially, what happens in the story is that Cardinal Richelieu wants to gain control over France, so he has a satanic mass, and what happens is he uses Lady de Winter as a conduit, but what comes through is actually the chthonic, if that's the right way of saying it, gods, and they infect Lady de Winter, and then she starts to infect the royal court, and Richelieu runs out, and the only musketeer that's available is Aramis. And then the two of them go to the court. But so I don't want to spoil it for anybody, but it's a pretty, Lovecraftian horror for me is basically there's two endings. You either commit suicide or you go mad. There's no other endings here. It's not going to work. When you encounter those kind of Lovecraftian creatures, you're fucked. You're not getting away. There's no happy ending. And I think even theologically, if you look at what Lovecraft created, and I'm not a Lovecraftian expert, but what fascinates me is the fact that these gods, there's no personal communication. They don't care about anything other than themselves. We're like amoebas to them. So the idea of a personal connection with these kind of deities, it doesn't exist. So it's quite bleak. It's quite nihilistic. It's in a very nihilistic world, and that's the format that I wrote in. So I'm surprised. So you're going to be able to play an RPG in this universe and pick your own or create your own musketeer or pirate or all sorts of things. So it could be fun.
That sounds fun. That
sounds fantastic. And again, you're covering a lot of the bases that you would expect someone to take, decades upon decades to do, and you're covering it and you're doing it well. And we're hoping to see more.
Thank you.
Oh, so we're going to be going to Dragon Con, and I would imagine that your products are going to be there. And Claudia, I think, is going to be there.
Claudia is going to be there with Bruce Boxleitner. So Bruce is a character in Dark Legacy as well. He's a great guy. I mean, there's not much more you can say about Big Bruce. I mean, he's a lovely chap, and I created this character with him, and it was a character set in the Martian frontier. So Bruce loves westerns, right? And his latest film is out now, Breaker's Law, The Warrant. So go and grab that on DVD. It's great. But Bruce is a massive Western aficionado, so we created the character as a Western style hero.
Wow!
And it's got elements of the story has elements of some of Bruce's favorite westerns in there, like The Searchers and The Wild Bunch and stuff like that. But again, I've been very lucky to work with Bruce, and now recently Walter Koenig, who was Chekhov in the original Star Trek. He's a character now in issue 2, and Peter Jersik's a character in issue 2 as well. So I worked with Peter on his character, and he's an intergalactic suave hitman.
Oh, that sounds cool.
So
nice.
The great thing about working with these guys and creating comic book characters with them is that you can just ask them, like, what's a character you've always wanted to play, and it's a genuine collaboration then with the actors. And people say to me, well, this is just like, Chris, this is just a fucking gimmick. You're bringing these guys in to milk money off the fans. And here's where I come from with this. You've got to look at actors as having supreme storytelling capabilities. I mean, Claudia has acted in games. She's acted in audio dramas. She's a writer herself. She's written science fiction. She's written erotica. She's obviously been a TV and cinematic actress. Of course, I'm going to draw on all that, and she knows what good storytelling is. So whenever we work together and collaborate, she's as much a storyteller as I am. And it's the same with the other guys. It's it's a true collaboration, and this is what I love about the project, because it's giving everybody a voice, and they're crafting the characters. And I mean, I was on the phone with Walter, and I was like, "We're going to create this character. How do you feel about that?" And he said, "Yeah, that's great. And can this character do this? And can we have this? Can we do?" Because I've always wanted to be. I'm like, "Yeah," and we talked through it.
That's
and
cool.
Then it's a backwards and forwards process, and it's Walter's one of the most and again a very generous guy, and I mean, I'm a quite young writer. I've only been writing for 3 years.
Wow,
2.5 years.
That's
maybe
very impressive.
And it's wow. And I've been lucky enough to touch like Terminator. So I've
Yes.
written canon stuff for Terminator and stuff for Doctor Who and Star Wars and things like that. And that's been great. But there's nothing that really has excited me more than working with these actors and crafting roles for them, and not just in the comic books, but in the games as well. They're going to be in the games, and
wow.
How I mean that takes the games take things to another level. So you as a writer, or sort of a creator of some of these game titles with the companies that are producing them, it's like, how are people going to interact with your characters? So whenever I bring that forward to say like Walter or Bruce, it's like how do you want players to interact with you? And RPGs, and RPGs are like a form of acting. And I remember thinking about this when it comes to Stoker Verse. Everything that I do, I want Bram to have been proud of, and there's several reasons for that. Bram's a fellow Irishman. He was the Neil Gaiman of the time. He wrote fantasy, he wrote horror, he wrote poetry. He was the manager of the Lyceum Theatre in London. He was a theatre critic. He didn't just do one book. And the reason that I wanted to create the Stoker Verse was to emphasize that he didn't do one book. In fact, Dracula was not his best story. Not by a goddamn mile was Dracula his best story. It's what he's most known for.
Right.
Yeah.
But he has written so many. And he's written drama. He's written dramatic books. He's written very, very powerful pieces of literature, which unfortunately kind of glossed over. So part of what we're trying to do in the Stoker Verse is to bring that out with Bram's work. And when we look at his work as a theatre critic and a theatre manager who loved acting, RPGs were a no-brainer. I mean, I think Bram would have loved it to have people around a table and acting out essentially a play.
Oh, yeah.
In his universe.
Right.
Of course Bram would have loved that. And that was, that's kind of what I'm about with the Stoker Verse. And I feel very beholden to that. That is actually the core of it. And similarly with Dark Legacies. I mean, the other reason I called it Legacies, we're trying to honor the legacies of the sci-fi actors that we've always loved. And there's a legacy there. And unfortunately, some of those legacies are disappearing.
Yes.
And I'm quite sad because, and I don't want to mention any names, but there are people who I grew up watching who are iconic, and they go to conventions now, and their lines are very thin.
Yep.
They're not there.
I totally agree. Yes.
And that shocks and scares the absolute hell out of me. Because there's a lifetime of achievement there, and I have nothing against anime, by the way.
Yes.
But the lines of the anime voice actors
Yep.
are far longer
Yes.
than. And another wonderful thing that I can say is I worked with Bill Shatner on his Man of War comic, and that's something. Again, it's something that he's actually brought up about legacy and what legacy is. It was actually Bill that got me starting to think about this kind of project, and what are people, and I hate using that term, but what are people leaving behind for the fans? What's there? What's
right?
I want all these actors to be very current, because they are. Like Walter, for example, if you think of Walter's contribution to science fiction and what he did during the Cold War, and the character that was pretty damn brave of him to play a Russian.
Right.
And that could be career suicide in Hollywood at that time. And the wonderful thing is that I'm hearing all the stories from Walter about what Chekhov was originally going to be, and he was going to be Spock's equal, actually. And you didn't see that through the original series, but then you saw it in the movies. I actually saw parts of the movies where it was like Chekhov could think, I can do this.
Yeah. That was good. It was an original Russian. There was I use the joke type thing.
Yeah, no, but I mean, working with these guys, it's a real privilege, and it's I'm hoping that through these projects, and I don't know how long any of this is going to go on for, but working with these projects, it's giving something new to fans.
Right. Speaking of giving things to fans, you also have an official.
Yeah, we've a charity. It's Claudia started it. It's a C3 Foundation. It's for people who are trying to recover from alcoholism and addiction.
Oh wow!
And I want to talk about this for a little bit, because when you see Claudia, and usually she plays very, very strong female characters, but Claudia has been touched by alcohol addiction, and she's been touched through it by it all her life. And her book, Babylon Confidential, which is her biography, talks about it at length. So what she did was she set up this foundation, C3, and she actually personally mans a helpline. She's a counsellor. She's an accredited addiction counsellor. and she has helped millions of people. She's saved millions of lives. She gives an option called naltrexone, which is a treatment that you take, and you take it. It's a little pill. She's got a documentary out called, I think it's Tiny Little Pill or One Little Pill, and you take it, and when you drink, it actually lessens your want or your need to drink, because that's really the danger point of alcoholism. Because if you're an alcoholic, once alcohol touches your bloodstream, you just want more and more and more until you're drunk. And effectively, some people can be functional alcoholics, but effectively it can destroy lives. So that's part of the treatment, and then obviously counselling, and then the idea is then that it's easier to abstain then from alcohol. But she provides all these services, and she goes and she does medical talks, and she does an awful lot of work for charities, and an awful lot of work for really for people. I mean, that's why I love Claudia as a friend and a business partner, because she has a heart for people, and she's been touched by that sort of destruction herself, so she knows what she's talking about.
Wow. Well, Chris, we hope to continue our relationship here with you and getting the word out. We really, really appreciate you taking the time out. I know there's a time difference, and it's not in your favor, and you've taken quite a bit of time out. Oh, it's
it's late or early. It depends what you want to call it. But guys, it's been a pleasure to be here. It's lovely to chat to you guys, and look, anytime you want me to pop on, or you want me to talk about something else I'm doing or whatever, there's another side. I can't talk about it, but I'll reach out to you guys, and friend me on Facebook. There's a big science fiction thing that I'm doing, but I can't talk about it now. But it's part of a major science fiction franchise.
When you can talk about it, come talk to us.
We'd love to help you out, Chris.
I will.
We'll spread the word.
I mean, how can I hint this? There was a musical episode of it recently. There you go.
Oh, fantastic! Love it.
So I don't think I'm breaking any contracts by saying that.
At that point.
All right. Well, we could read between the lines. So
it's Grease. I got it.
We got it.
It's Grease.
So, we just watched it, as a matter of fact. So, come back, Chris, and let's help you promote this good stuff. We like promoting charities, and the fact that you're a science fiction fan and you're a Galactica fan helps as well. And one of these days we're gonna have to meet up at a convention, whether it's on your side or our side. But we definitely want to.
I have a great love for New York. Great love. I was there in 2010, and it's a great regret of mine that I haven't been back since. But I love New York. So
next time next time you're coming out, we're here.
Yep,
I'll let you know, man.
Oh, for sure. We'd love to host you. No problem. Oh my God. All right. So Chris, again, thank you so much. Here's to you. A toast to Chris McAuley and the Stoker Verse and all the work that you're doing.
What?
It's not quite alcohol, but hey,
it works. We got to remember the charity. So
yeah, here's to you, Chris. Thank you.
Thank you so much for coming on.
Thanks, lads.
And we
catch you guys
look
there.
Forward to you. You got it. Look forward to you coming back. Outstanding. Oh my God, so cool. Now I wasn't even aware of some of these things. I mean, I kind of knew a little bit of, I had heard of, the Dracula. There's the comic book. I had seen something about it. I didn't know what was going on. And now it's like, holy macaroni.
Yeah, I'd seen cool. The Claudia Christensen. It was a Kickstarter or crowdfunding.
Yes.
One of the two. I saw that come out.
Yeah.
So that looks really cool. I didn't. Yeah, I wasn't aware of how much the charity piece was.
Yeah.
I wasn't for sure of that. And Bram Stoker's I've got to probably get an audio. They have to have an audio book on that probably. I haven't read that page by page, but I feel like I need to now, just by listening to him. listening to
no
Chris.
kidding.
I think it's like, I want to know more about this, because especially his description of the, where it's a, sex sells, but in the book that sounds amazing.
Oh, you got to read. You got to read the
I've got to
original.
read that.
But I'm waiting for that new one that has like everything in it. This, of course, everyone. A big thank you to John Van Gostein, John One, who is our program coordinator, and he goes out there and he gets everybody that basically has been coming on to the show for at least, let's say, for the last year. Thank you to everybody for tuning in. There's more. All right, John One is going to come on and he's going to give us his update, and he's got some really, really cool items, that he's going to bring up on his spot. But just want to make sure that we thank him again for all the hard work that he does, because that was an incredible interview, right? It exposed us to all kinds of cool stuff. Yeah. And I know Mike DeBrune, your a fellow countryman, very cool, man. Who would have known? So, hey, John, what's up, man?
Hey, guys, how are you? How's things?
Good, man. Good. Very good.
That was a good interview. Huh? I was like, I think I ordered like 2 books on Amazon while I was listening to him. I ordered the Musketeers versus Cthulhu.
Yep. Oh yeah. I'm waiting for that definitely that the Dracula one that he's talking about, where they're going to work on that. There's a whole bunch of stuff to jump into, so I'm going to look into that myself. And maybe, who knows, maybe at Dragon Con we get to see Claudia. By the way, John, I want to give you a heads up that for Dragon Con, I have your cards and I have your ID. So that's with me. Awesome. I'll be giving to you when I see you there. Looking forward to meeting up with you. It's been a while. And everybody else that's coming to Dragon Con, man, we're going to have a great time.
I've got to go order the Dark Legacy stuff. I mean, that's all there is to it.
Yeah.
I want to see that. I want to see that. I'm a big fan of Claudia Christensen, and it's like,
Yes. She's going to be at the con. She's going to be doing, I think, a panel. Maybe we get a chance to actually speak to her.
I can't believe, I didn't know she, like Chris was saying, it was like, she has a sword collection. I was like, no way.
That's crazy, man. So
sorry, Battlestar Galactica, fracking cool.
Yes. So very cool. And maybe, who knows, maybe we can, maybe we can try to see if we can, speak to her, if at all possible, or maybe you should come on the show at some point. Who knows? But we'll work on that.
I reached out to her.
We have a whole bunch. There's a lot of guests, man. We got a lot of other guests lined up as well. So I know, John, you're busy.
To come on.
Yeah, why not? I mean, hey, what the heck? We got nothing to lose. John, you got stuff for us.
It's funny. She
man.
Looks a lot like Athena.
Oh boy, here you go, Rob. You heard that, right? There you go.
I reached out to Karen Harrison page too.
She looks a lot like Athena.
I just sent Chris a sales pitch, and I said, "Wouldn't it be great to have the searches in a sci-fi story?" That'd be pretty good.
Hey, speaking of sci-fi stories, John, how's your story coming along?
Good. I gotta send you. Actually, going to send you a couple of paragraphs for it. I'm still working on it. But it's
cool.
Pretty good.
I'm anxiously waiting for that. Yeah. John's got some good stuff he's working on. Hopefully, we'll eventually be working on that as a project. Crunch says, bet Claudia doesn't have a Cylon sword. I don't know. Tipsy Toaster.
We'll have to ask.
Oh, boy.
All right. We'll have
to ask. John, so you're covering a bunch of stuff. Some of it I was aware of, and some of it I had no clue. So it looks really cool. I'm looking forward to your update on some of the news and things that are coming up in our little world here. By the way, John, before you start, I just want to make sure that everybody knows on your title card, right, your slide, we have the fact that we support the strike. Right, SAG and SAG-AFTRA and the WGA, we are very respective, and we support, of course, the strike, and we hope that gets settled sooner than later. But we are supporters, so we just wanted to put that out.
Yes, we are big supporters, especially what's going on. All right, well, everyone ready?
Heck yeah.
I was waiting for my theme song, but that's in my head. Okay.
It's damn. I got Tiny Bean Terror has a John. I'll work on it. I'll work on it for next time.
Careful what you wish for, John.
That's it.
Oh,
it'll be a country song. You wait.
Bang,
John won.
Yeah. All right, we don't have to go there. We don't have to do that now. Come on, man. Jeez.
Squeal like a Cylon.
Oh boy. See?
Bang, 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 bang. Squeal like a Cylon. Come on.
Oh boy. Did you jump ahead?
Well,
I think that's not the first one.
That was a click. That was an accident.
Okay. All right. Let's see. John, I think it's all you now.
So your theme song is over, John. Now it's time to start.
All right, here we go. Hello, everybody. Gamers are aware of the popular horror game Dead by Daylight. Well, it's getting an alien invasion now. Dead by Night, Alien, allows you to play Ripley or a xenomorph, maybe the mother alien, so you can run around, try to kill people, and survive in this horror game. It's coming out August 30th. Check it out in GameStop or where you get your games. It should be on the whole platform. I'm sorry. My minions are being bent. So that should be on August 30th, so we're going to try it out, see who it is. Be the xenomorph. Come on, you can't be the xenomorph.
Yeah.
I'd do it. Yeah, I would. And this adult animated comedy is coming to an end. No. I never watched it. The animation kind of like freaked me out, but they say it's pretty funny.
Archer?
Archer season 4.
I think it's good. I enjoyed it as an adult animation. It's good.
Yes. It's got some pretty funny points. I was watching some things on YouTube about it, but I just have to sit down and watch it. I just haven't got into it.
I think I saw season 1. That was
Season 4 is coming on August 30th on FX. As a fan of the late Ray Stevenson, who was great as in Rome, who was at Pulio, Ahsoka will be on Disney Plus August 23rd. That's going to be really good. The storyline, the actors, it's all from. Just watch Star Wars Rebels first, and then you'll understand Ahsoka. So it's good. That's coming on August 23rd. And Titan Comics has released a new series, Robotech Rick Hunter. And this looks pretty good. The storylines, everything looks pretty good in the 80s. So that's going to be a fighter ace, and it takes place after the original Macro saga.
Aha.
And this is the Spider-Man Reign, the most notorious Spider-Man story ever told. If you have Spider-Man fans out there, it's by the older Peter Parker goes out for an adventure, and he finds out more than what he bargained for. Well, they're coming out for a second season of this storyline. Reign 2 will be out sometime next year. We're thinking about sometime January or February is coming out, but that's like good comic books. You want to invest in comics? Get that comic. That's good. First Reign was great. So, and also check out Hulu Polar Opposites. That's a good adult comic. Go to the animated series. It's pretty funny. That's like the same guy that did Futurama, which is out now. Season 11 is out now on Hulu. Check that out now. That's pretty funny. And here are some conventions. The Long Island Who contest, August 18th. Who convention, August 18th, is coming out. Hopefully we can cover that. I still haven't got an email from them. I sent out a couple emails, so we're still waiting to hear from them. So they said they can cover it, but we just have to show up to get our press junket. Long Island Tropicon, August 19th. Hot Dog Long Island, and New Jersey HorrorCon, August 18th. There should be Blue Moon, Full Moon Feature is going to be there. A lot of the stories going to be there, so I might go there with my nephew, take a day of it. And that should be it so far. Just quick storyline.
I've got a whole lot more slides here than.
Let's go.
What was this one?
Cover those. That was Dark Droids. That's a new series comic. The droids in Star Wars finally get enough, and that's how they go on a killing rampage, and they're fighting off the evil droids.
Nice.
I like it.
Comic books now.
I like it. It's Cylonish. Is that a word? Is that a word? Can we create a new word? Cylonish.
Episode 1 just came out this week in comic book stores.
Cylonish.
It's
a trademark that name now. Cylonish. And we have this. This was.
And this is Robotech, the Rick Hunter series. This takes place after the Macro series. Some pretty good comic, got some Titan comics, and that should be coming out now. That should be out in comic book stores now. If you're a Robotech fan, it's good. And Dark Legacies was for
we just talked about that.
Or interview.
I'll be ordering that as soon as we get off the air, believe it or not.
And that's going to be in the comic. I got there.
Stoker Verse. Dracula. Dark Reign.
That's the board game. It's the board game for the rules he's going to come out on.
Yep.
Hopefully, he can paint some figures. It was pretty cool. I remember doing those figures.
I can't believe he wrote the Doctor Who annual as well as a trivia for Babylon 5.
Wow.
Chris did. Yeah.
That's cool.
That was a Cybermen. And that was the Embrace. I got that in Congress.
What is this?
On Amazon. Sorceress of the Nile. A mummy story. That's one of his stories. A mummy story. The Sorceress of the Nile. It takes place in the mummy. Dracula's.
Oh, that's cool.
Dracula's origins.
And this is what I'll be ordering after we get off the air.
Yeah.
Dark Legacies.
Hey,
George G, that's right up your alley, man. Oh, yeah. And Chris Marshall. Hey, thanks for tuning in, guys. Appreciate it.
Yeah, this series just came out about a year or so ago. Yeah. So
here's a site.
I'm really proud of that. And she was like the second in command in Babylon 5, right? She was like one of the high officers. So
that's cool.
Pretty good. That was pretty good, that comic. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Very cool.
Myself. She just came out. So.
Wrong one.
You caught me sitting down. Okay.
Dang it.
Oh, boy.
Dang it. Wrong one again.
Wrong buttons, man.
Where's number 3? Where's number 3? There's 3.
There you go.
Hey.
All right.
There's us. Okay. Now I got it right. You know how many buttons I have over here? You would not have. You would not believe.
Too many. John, what's your ETA for Dragon Con?
I'm coming in Thursday morning.
Thursday morning?
You are?
So I'll be coming Thursday morning, yep.
All right,
I'll be there till Monday.
But Thursday's the new Friday, and Wednesday's the new Friday, too. That's what they always say.
Yeah, every day's a Friday? Well, all right, so
it always starts earlier. It started out like Saturday, Sunday, and then it went to Friday, and now it's Thursday, and eventually it will be Wednesday that it starts on.
All right. Well, we need to start coordinating at some point, guys. Mm-hmm. We don't have a lot of shows left, but stay tuned because Thursday, since we're all heading in on Thursday, it'd be kind of cool. IFB obviously will be there in force, right? Myself and the Tipsy Toaster, John One, we're going to be there, as well as who else is coming? Chris, are you bringing Tricky Faye?
Yep.
Tricky Faye's coming, right?
Yep.
So we're going to have our cosplay correspondent. That'll be there as well.
Mm-hmm.
So we're going to have a really strong representation. So Thursday, we're going to be out there walking about, looking at, whatever, all the different dealers.
We'll go live. We'll try to go live from there Thursday evening like we normally do right now.
Right.
May not be as long of a show. We'll see.
Yeah.
It just depends on connectivity. But we'll definitely have a show on Thursday. It may not be it may not be the normal length, but we will definitely be there and kind of walk around and give you some of the on the street interviews of what goes on at Dragon Con, especially Thursday is not bad. Friday, Saturday, Sunday would be at that time frame would be just the point where you couldn't hear over top of everybody talking. It's just the drone of number of people there. So more than likely, but Thursday we should be good. Yeah, we'll meet up. Yeah, meet up.
We're definitely gonna meet up. So
even if we do it in a hotel room, we could be good.
Yeah. So Thursday night, guys, we're gonna have a short live presentation from Dragon Con. Professor Patton's gonna be there on Thursday, so we'll try to set up a meetup for Thursday.
That's a good idea. Just kind of have a group of people meet up in one spot, and we can do a kind of a 30-minute or 40-minute broadcast, and people can see actually what they look like.
You know what? So that is the goal, guys. So Thursday night at Dragon Con, those of you that are going to show up on Thursday and be there by the evening,
we'll work on
hold out to 8
getting
o'clock.
A location. Yep. Give us a second.
We're going to get a location.
We'll figure it out.
And we're all going to be on live. So Professor Patton, I don't know, Lola, when you're coming in, Fran, I don't know.
Fran,
I know Charlene Donatello's going to be coming, and a whole bunch of others. If you're coming in Thursday night at 8 o'clock, we're going to find a location, and all of you, if you're there, you're gonna come on, and we're going to do a live broadcast.
Right. And if you come, we have cards for you. Ready?
Yes, we do. Yeah.
Here's a preview.
Oh, look at that.
Wow.
That's 11.
Nice.
Look at that. Wow. Looking good, friend. Oh.
Whoa. Dave, check that out.
That's cool.
There's Dave.
Not bad.
Nice shot.
Number 12. And number 13. Number 13. Come on, focus. There you go. Number 13. Ha ha ha. That's awesome. Look at that. You got a Viper in the background right at the launch bay.
Look at that.
That's cool. And where's Dorian? I hope you're still on, bro. There you go. Bam! Dorian Keyes, our very own soundtrack creator, award-winning sci-fi author, multi-talented. Dorian's creating an original soundtrack for The Stranded
and
Warrior.
Of course, the best one of them all. On the bass star.
Yeah. That's right. Lucky 13, Mike. Bam! Yeah, look at that.
On the bass star. Getting ready to board a raider to destroy Colonial Vipers.
Shh, calm down.
Fire and ready.
So that's the extras. These are the extra 5. So there's going to be, that's 16 cards in our TSW set. And you like that fighter pilot there, Dorian? You like that? You're going to like the backstory, too, that we wrote for your character. He's named and all. You're going to like it. You'll see, buddy. So the extra 5 cards are in addition to, of course, the first ones that we debuted at Awesome Con. So for those of you that come out, we're going to have a set of cards for you. We're going to try to get as many of those autographed as possible. And so like I said, George Zuvalos is coming. Diana Durango is coming. George K will be there. And so you can have those 3 autographed because they each have their own cards. So if you come out to the panel, they'll be there. And we'll see if there's any other surprise guests. I don't know. There might be.
Maybe.
We'll see. Yeah, it's possible. It's possible. I don't know if but I think there'll be some others. As a matter of fact, I'm looking forward to meeting up with all of you there. And we're going to have a good time, guys. So thank you for supporting.
Do you guys have a day for the panel? What day is going to be on?
It's still listed as Friday.
Friday. All right, nice.
Yep. So Friday evening, I believe
5:30.
5:30 or 6 o'clock, something like that.
5:30, I think it is. I can't remember.
Okay. So that's going to be our panel.
Well, I'll do it now. I wonder when the app is going to come out.
It came out already. The app came out today.
Did it come out today? I didn't see it.
Yes. Yeah, it's out, but it's not complete, of course.
Yeah.
So it doesn't have the panels or anything, but it has like a ton of guests. So yeah, we have our panel. It's the Stranded Warrior fan film making, how to make a fan film and, what it takes to do that. So we'll be covering that. As a matter of fact, let's see. Let me just tell you a little bit about it's the Welcome to the Making of the Stranded Warrior Fan Film Passion Project. It's inspiration, it's backstory, collaboration, lessons learned, commentary, and then, of course, a Q&A. Each one of the panelists will have a couple of minutes to talk. We put together slides. So we have PowerPoint slides with background pictures from each one of the panelists. So it's going to be really, really cool. I think we're going to really enjoy that. And then, of course, we'll open up to a Q&A. And once we finish the Q&A, that'll lead us right into the trivia. So obviously, we're going to have a great time with that as well. And then we'll have some small, prizes.
Yep.
Hopefully, we'll have some signed Diana Durango, Major Amon 8x10s that were left over from Awesome Con. So we'll be able to give those out as well. Yeah. So we're going to have a good time. Yeah. Everybody on the panel is going to stick around for trivia. So we'll have a good time with that. And I believe we'll be joined. Who else is going to be on the trivia with us, Chris? Somebody else is with us.
Freya. From
Freya.
Yep. Battlestar Galactica.
Fan club?
Fan club, yep.
Yeah. So she will be there as well.
She's helping out with the newer Battlestar Galactica stuff.
So we're going to handle the original and Galactica 1980. Again, thank you to Robert Baum.
We'll also do Caprica. And,
Caprica, yep.
We'll do Battlestar Galactica 2004. We'll do probably maybe there'll be a question or two in regards to the Second Coming, maybe. So we'll throw anything that's Battlestar Galactica will be questioned.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, Chris, how are we going to handle the trivia? Is it going to be using that app that you?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
So it'll be
all digital. You'll bring your mobile phone with you, and you'll use that to answer the questions. The faster you answer the question, the more points you get. The slower you answer the question, the less points you get. So we'll go from there. You get the idea.
Oh, yeah. As a matter of fact, I know that I was told by Mr. George Zuvalos he will be in character, dressed in his Colonial Warrior uniform as Captain Martin. I am going to be in my Atlantia Battlestar uniform.
Maybe I'll come as a certain individual who is the one true God.
I know that Superfan Fran is going to be in her in her Colonial Warrior uniform. Yes. So it's gonna be fun. We'll be doing a little Galactica cosplay, which we don't usually get to do. So we'll be doing that. It'll be a lot of fun, guys. I hope that I think Dorian says he'll be there in sound.
All right.
So yes, you will. We're gonna try to broadcast. And bring my 3-inch phone. Okay, Lola, bring your phone. You'll get to use it.
It doesn't matter. However big it is, we'll make it work.
Yes, we will make it work. So don't worry about that. But we're going to have a great time. Susan is watching. Susan, I don't think I mentioned you before. So thank you for joining us live. All of you that are joining us live, really appreciate it. We had a great guest, Chris McAuley.
I think we could have probably talked for another hour.
Yeah.
And still
but
not
he'll be back.
Heard everything. Yeah, we'll definitely have to talk to him again.
Oh, yeah. And, that was thanks to John, of course. Thank you, John, for all your hard work. John's presentation and update. Chris, we want to talk about a little bit on September 17th is the beginning of our new season. We'll be starting our 4th season here on IFB. And that, of course, is the premiere. That's when Battlestar Galactica premiered on television.
And was interrupted by Jimmy Carter. But anyways.
That's right. And, but when they came back, they just picked it up where they left off. So that was cool. And, so that's a big day. So we're definitely going to be doing more than just 2 hours. We're going to have, a mini marathon on the 17th.
12 hours! Wait a minute.
Yeah, you can't handle 12 hours, my friend, so don't go there.
Oh, we can handle 12. Oh, it sounds like a challenge now. I think I can handle 12 hours.
Yeah, I don't know about that. But anyway, so, stay tuned. So for the 17th, of course, that's a special that we always do every year. And
wait a minute. I think we need to do 12 hours because it's the 12 colonies. 13 hours.
Yeah, we're not doing 13 hours. I think we're doing more than 2.
We should. I mean, got to represent all the colonies, including Earth. So an hour for each colony.
Right. Okay. So you keep dreaming that dream, and one day it will come true. However, last time we did 6 hours.
Yep.
And it was nonstop. Remember?
It went fast.
It went fast.
It went fracking fast.
Oh,
I was
yeah.
like, what?
I
can't believe it was over. When I looked at it, I was like, that was 6 hours? So
yeah, we had a really
13
good time,
hours should be nothing. No problem.
Yeah. So, John, make sure that you're ready for the 17th, right? Right. We're gonna have the special, of course, and celebrate Battlestar Galactica and celebrate IFB and thank all of you guys for coming on and supporting. And then I don't know. Let's see. So we got the convention coming up, which is great. Right. So we're gonna have to do something post convention wrap up. So that's something that's going to be in September as well. Right. And then don't forget that Awesome Con, guys. I believe it's in March.
Yep, March. We already have a table.
We have a booth again.
Yep.
We got a booth.
I already have a booth. They asked us to come back.
Oh, man. We're going to have a booth, and you guys have seen the interviews. We had such a good time.
Yep. I still actually have 2 interviews to put up on that, believe it or not.
Yeah, it was fantastic. So, Chris, are you going? Have a costume change every hour if you go 13. I don't know if I can do 13. I don't think I have 13, but I have some. We got, there's quite. I own a few cosplays.
Only if I can change on air.
Oh, that would How about we have you guys come on in your cosplay?
There we go.
How about we do that? That would be cool.
Hmm.
Yeah, that would be awesome. So, so there's a lot of good stuff. John, so
come on in character.
That's good stuff, man. You got to be in on this. However, you said there's the Doctor Who convention. Now, for the record,
yes,
my favorite Doctor is Tom Baker. So that's my favorite Doctor Who of all time. When is that convention again?
Yeah, it's August 18th. August 18th.
Okay.
I think.
August 18th.
Like 2 weeks.
So
just
that's coming up, man.
Yeah.
Even though they had great cyber robots.
Oh, it was
not
awesome.
A fan.
Tom Baker was
Cybermen, the Daleks.
Yeah.
Not a big fan.
It was cool.
Yeah.
Tom Baker was the best. Lola confirmed.
He was.
We didn't hear back from them, John. They didn't say anything. I just
emailed them a letter confirming, asking about coverage. They said they could cover it, but they haven't sent us any press junkets or anything else. But they did say we can come and cover it. But no one's she hasn't reached out yet. So I emailed her again today, and I should get a response soon.
Cool.
Okay. And just any other updates on any of the other guests that I sent you a couple of leads. Do you know if you'd gotten anything back from any of those?
Nothing yet. I got
nothing yet. Okay.
Doug Drexler confirmed for 2 weeks. He's coming in. He's coming
on.
Wow.
Oh wow.
Wow.
That's right after Dragon.
He won the Oscar. Yep. No, right before. He's coming on the 24th.
Right before. Okay.
Yep.
Yeah.
Michael Moore's coming on, and a couple other guests. I'm still waiting for him. The 2 other leads I'm still waiting on hearing from, and I sent you a reply from the guy from AwesomeCon.
Yes.
Shirley. Mike
from
Shirley sent you a reply.
Shirley, yeah. So he wants to come back and do a post-convention after action, which is great. And so we're setting up our future position at shore leave. So all things, if the planets line up, we'll be able to go there and cover shore leave, which is a tremendous, small but tremendous convention. Has a lot of star power. It's the longest Star Trek based, sci-fi, fan run convention. So that's great, and I've heard of it. I've heard of it back in the 80s when I used to read Starlog like Rob used to. And, I never got a chance to go, of course, but now we're definitely going to go. Hopefully we'll be able to pull that off. All right, good. We definitely have a lot of good guests coming up, and looking forward to making new connections. Oh, Chris, is the other thing I want to mention was I am actually screening. I am a screener for the Brooklyn science fiction film festival that takes place later in the year. So that would be in, I believe it's October of 2023 is when the festival takes place in Brooklyn, New York. I'm currently screening some films. I've done 13 so far, and now I am doing a feature-length time travel film. And so I'm happily involved with that. And also, we are planning our own film festival, right? If you guys have been following, Joe Carabeo came on, and so we'll be coordinating with him. So at some point, we will be doing our own film festival as well. So that's part of where we're going. And I think we're going to have a lot of fun with that as well. And looking forward to what the next season brings, guys. I mean, we're close to it. We're within a month almost.
Yep.
Right, John? I mean, can you believe?
Yeah,
that's crazy.
It's
Fourth year.
Bigger and bigger things. Yeah, 4 years already, huh? Holy cow.
Man, it's just
goes flies when you're having fun.
Yeah.
Wow, a lot of things were done last year.
Who would have thought?
Nobody. Okay, so who knows what these are or what they're for?
They're calculators, and you use them to find out the answers to mathematical problems. I win.
Is that your?
No, that's not in our. That's not the proper context.
Not is that your flight computer?
Ha! That's right, John. Ta-da! So I've been working on getting this together, and it's supposed to have the red. So put this. I'm gonna be putting this all together, and the lights work. So
Silence don't need that. It's already built in.
Yeah. That's why they blow them so they get blown up so easily. So the light works. So I am currently in the process of putting that together. I don't know if it's going to make it to Dragon Con, but I'm going to give it a shot. And
Susan said
I made one. Susan says she made one. Outstanding. Hey, Susan, are you going to Dragon Con?
It'd be cool.
Yeah, it would be. It would be. So, yeah, guys, don't forget that we are going to go to Dragon Con starting Thursday. And, Susan says, I think so. Fantastic. Good. The more the merrier. Wow. Deborah Ann is watching. Deborah, thank you for joining us live. We're wrapping up our IFB, the show tonight. Please go back if you haven't watched. We had a tremendous guest, Chris McAuley from the Stoker Verse, and it's all about the original Count Dracula and Bram Stoker's vision of, and they're going to be video games. They have books out, comic books, all kinds of real cool stuff. And
RPG. Yep.
RPG, yeah. Possibly, who knows?
Not rocket-propelled grenade, but role-playing game.
Role-playing games, yes. And who knows? Maybe it might even make it into other medias. So we're hoping that that happens for them.
Like
and they're going to be back.
Felt like there was a hint there, but it wasn't coming quite out. So we'll see.
So it's not confirmed, but who knows? But I can tell you that Chris will be back. Maybe, who knows? Yeah. We'll be able to get Claudia to come on as well, and not for nothing. I mean, might as well be kind of cool if we got the great grandnephew of Bram Stoker himself, who is a partner with Chris to come
crazy.
On. Yeah. That would be a heck of. That's nuts, man. That's really cool. That's his partner, his business partner. So, a whole squadron of warriors at Dragon Con. That's right, Paul. It's going to be tremendous. We're going to have a really good time. Looking forward to this. So, guys, John, any last words?
Looking forward to the con, guys. I'm hearing a lot of good things about it, and I'm just ready to have some fun. And it's going to be something to see, especially the stuff you guys are going to show on your panel. So I'm looking forward to that. It's going to be really good. That's going to be good fun. So,
yeah.
The highlight of my show. And,
that's
going to be your guys' moment. It's going to be pretty cool. I'm very happy for you.
Man. Yep, thank you. And John, of course, you were on set with us. You were a production coordinator on set for the Stranded Warrior. doing, taking pictures, coordinating, doing all kinds of working your butt off on the set too. So let's not I want to make sure we don't let it pass.
Yep.
So you were there with us too, in the trenches.
That was fun.
Taking pictures.
That was some experience.
Oh heck yeah!
Taking
Good
pictures
times.
Right when we're about to shoot.
Yep.
click, 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 and the guys are okay. Stop.
Turn that off.
Chris,
I think it's been a great rotation through your area here at Planet Earth, and I'm looking forward to being at Dragon Con. Looking forward to next week. I enjoy this. I enjoy doing this every week, so this is fantastic, and sure hope we can actually sit down with Claudia at Dragon Con. That would be amazing.
Oh, wow, yeah, tremendous. Yeah,
because she looks so much like Athena. Oops, outside voice again. Sorry.
Yeah, see that.
I'm working on my second. Was it restraining order? So
No, he's not. He's just kidding. Oh my God. All right.
But anyways,
thanks
everybody, and fans for the fleet. And look, wait, how much you got left there, Pete? Okay, about the same. I think you dumped it on the floor, to tell you the truth.
I did not.
Yeah, you did.
No way.
What you got?
No,
all right.
Absolutely not.
So, fans for the fleet. Right. Thank you very much, everybody. See you next week.
See you next week.